All right, yo, peace and blessings, everybody. Mana Yuaka for all praises to the ancestors. This is always about the ancestors with me. This will be a fast live. I'm going to play a video. That video is going to be about 2 minutes. Play that video, get my analysis. We're going to have a quick discussion. If you like this, please share it. This is something to me that matters. My page is totally devoted to historic integrity, totally devoted to developing healthy discussion around history. I've witnessed a lot of false information over the last year. And I've been very candid and forthright about sharing some of that false information. But the intention of sharing that false information was to raise awareness. So I'm going to share this video right now. I'm going to share this video, and I'm going to give my analysis. It'll be brief, and then we're going to move on. All right, because this right here is something I think we need to discuss, we need to deal with. This false information needs to be dealt with, but I think it needs to be dealt with now internally. I think the people who are in opposition to me spreading awareness about false information need to deal with the false information campaign within their own community, right? Because my whole reason for sharing it was to raise awareness and to have a discussion about content. I'm going to respond. I'm going to play this video real quick. Play about 2 minutes of it. I don't know if my screen is sharing, so I'm just going to share the audio. Play about 2 minutes of this audio, and then after that, we are going to get my analysis on what I've seen. I see some alarming things, and then we're going to
between the Native Americans. I don't know how y'all got on that live, but prior to y'all getting on that lineup, seemed like a whole secret meeting. And when y'all got on that live, they was gaslighting y'all. They're going to take that video and they're going to take it to the media. And they're going to say, look at these, what are they going to use? The terminology that they're going to use is these extremists. Look at this black extremist group. The whole time, they're literally gaslighting y'all. The whole time. So for the people who aren't aware what's going on, the Native Americans had a live on YouTube last night. Somehow the real indigenous community, us, our community of people, was made privy to the live, and then they got on and started typing in the chat. Now, one of those gang stalkers, that OH guy, him and his crew of gang stalkers who are always stalking us online, stalking us and everybody who's dark skinned, who mention that they're indigenous to America. They had a private meeting on YouTube. So you had brothers like Original American that was asking them questions. And instead of answering the question, they was gaslighting him. Okay, they were intentionally trying to make him angry, saying that he wasn't from here, calling him an African, and disregarding the questions that he was asking them. They did the same thing to 111 Truth. They did not let Original American share his screen. He was trying to show them facts. He was trying to show them actual facts. And they did not let him share his screen with them, all while saying you have no proof of your claim. They asked 111 Truth about his family, which I suggest that you don't answer.
All right. So let's deal with that. All right. So this right here is something that I see very alarming. We're going to deal with this. The reason why I'm addressing this right here specifically is because this is the shift. This person right here actually filmed my page. And that's the irony. This woman right here found my page and was belligerent in the comments of my page, right? Antagonistic in the comments of my page. Don't know who she was. She found my page. She found our historic foundation. She found my page. So that's the first thing. Secondly, my page is focused on evidence, history, and information, not identity. I do not debate identity. This is not a page that engages in how you identify, right? You can identify how you so choose. You can be a little purple unicorn. You could be non-gender conforming, any of the bullshit. I don't care about how a person identifies. My page deals exclusively with the evidence, historic evidence, facts, which I do not have a monopoly on, by the way. So it is a discussion, right? All parties involved about history, facts, evidence. We can even factor in oral tradition, right? That is what I cover. And over the last year, I've witnessed an egregious amount of false information. But people like this are not focused on the actual inaccuracies. They're focused on censorship, right? Because they don't want disbelief, right? Whereas my page is encouraging people to actively disagree with the evidence, right? This is the trend that I'm seeing. Our historic foundation has never, ever, ever been focused on anybody's identity. Nobody's identity and nobody's belief. I do not deal in belief. You do not see me debating religion because I do not deal in belief. We deal in hardline evidence, indisputable evidence. And in terms of open and honest dialogue, I've been invited to the other side's platform multiple times. Multiple times I've been invited to their platform. I've been overtalked. Can barely get a word in. It's definitely an energy. He comes to a spread. Whenever I come to spread some level of awareness. It's something I've seen that was inaccurate, presented, and I know I stepped into a space that it's going to be a little more contentious. So when this person wasn't able to share their screen, that's not really my personal style, right? My personal style is it's going to be an open discussion. It's going to be open and honest, direct discussion, right? Where everybody's talking. You got the evidence, present your evidence. Let's hear the case out. I'm speaking for myself, right? Everybody gets the right to speak for themselves. You don't get the right to have baseless claims. Say it was some secret meeting that OHF was responsible for, right? Because I speak for myself and I speak independently, right? I speak as somebody who's very committed to making sure that it's awareness about false information. And let me be very honest. It's not just about Native communities. It's not just about Pan-African communities. It's also within your community. Because there's people within this space that I disagree with who I just simply disagree with. And then there's also people who are pushing out extreme crazy facts that inactual ridiculousness. It's two different groups. So anybody who's speaking in behalf of truth, anybody who honors truth, anybody who's open and direct and honest and transparent about sharing the evidence and makes their case in a logical, persuasive manner, I'm open to hearing it. This right here to me is a distraction because we're not discussing content. We're discussing shenanigans. And I'm not interested in discussing anybody's identity, anybody's belief system, right? I want to hear your evidence. And my page has always been focused on the evidence. It's always been focused on the evidence-based case, right? I don't care about what you believe or how you identify, right? If you're a person who's not interested in an intellectual discussion like that, then you probably wouldn't do well on my page, right? I want to be very clear about that. I want to be very clear that my page is focused on historic integrity. And you look and analyze what we've just discussed over the last year, you will see that we definitely covered a lot of inaccuracies over the last year. It's a lot of false information that's been put out. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it really is everybody has the right to soul search. So if it's met with belligerence and nobody's responding to the actual content, we move on. I'm a student who shares what I learn. But at the end of the day, it's going to have to be soul searching within every community. Figure out, is there inaccuracies? Is what OHF has been stating all along, are there inaccuracies within our group? Right? All I can do is just simply show what I see. Very candidly. The debate has never been about someone's identity. Right? Obviously, if coming into the discussion, you would have some awareness that I do not share your positions, but I am open to hearing you. And I do honor that. And I've been very committed to that. And I've always said people from the other side can come and candidly share their facts and evidence. But to me, it seems like the conversation has shifted away from the evidence, into a space where it's all belief and all identity. And two things I have no interest in discussing. I have no interest in discussing anybody's personal belief or anybody's identity. My page has always been devoted to covering the facts with the highest level of integrity, open and transparent. And that's what I have done for the last year. I'm very proud of what we've done. I'm very proud that we brought awareness to a lot of the false information. It's not one group that has a monopoly on false information. But I do think not being receptive to the fact that there may be false information, I do think that there's definitely long-term consequences, right, that people have to deal with. But this video right here to me is a distraction because it shifts our attention from content and historic integrity, a discussion, into a circus. We're now focused on a circus as opposed to discussing content. And anytime we shift away from content, I'm not interested in that discussion. Anytime we shift from the history, I'm not interested in that discussion. Anytime we shift from the evidence, I'm not interested in that discussion. Right? I'm only interested in discussing point A, point B, point C with the facts, right? And how we arrived at point D. And just to be very clear, I may have said this earlier in the video, my page has always been welcoming to anybody, any stripe, any position. If you can come down and lay your history down with evidence, lay your story down with evidence, lay your case down with evidence, I'm open to hearing it. Because it's a discussion, but it's an evidence-based discussion. So whatever your stripe is, I don't really care about that. I'm caring about your evidence. We need to hear your story, hear your claim, hear it in its entirety, because my page has been devoted to covering a broad set of perspectives. But I'm seeing the other side is sort of moving towards a belief, total identity, total belief, two things I have no interest in engaging in. I have no interest in engaging in a person who's only focused on discussing their belief system and only just interested in discussing identity, right? Identity is something I'll just pull up a chair and hear you out. Your evidence is something that you have to make a case for. So that's what we've been focused on. I did want to cover Garvey earlier today. I fell asleep. So I will be covering Garvey here. I will be covering Garvey, and I will also be covering some of the activists in Ferguson. We're going to commence Ferguson. It's August Resistance. It's a powerful time for the ancestors. It's a powerful time for the season of Black History. This is the real Black History Month, August. So I'm going to really cover that. Some of you also know me through my other platform of Follow Me Hattori Marifa. We will be resuming with that, with the daily stories that we cover every day. And moving forward, I mean, our Historic Foundation is going to definitely focus more on other stories. I mean, I think we definitely explored, and I've been very candid about sharing what I deem to be false information. I think we exhaustively did that. But one thing I'm not interested in is discussing identity, identity or belief, right? I don't really care about how someone self-identifies. I care about your evidence. That's the only discussion. Everybody has the right to have different stops on their intellectual journey. I know I have, but you are on my page expected to come and present your evidence. Right? If you're not interested in that, then this is probably not the page for you. So on that note, tomorrow I will be going live on Mafami Hattori Marifa. I will also cover that content here. We're going to start covering these stories every day. It's August 18th. We're going to cover all the beautiful stories of August 18th. It's a lot of powerful people born. It's a lot of powerful things to commence within the month of August. And we're definitely going to honor August resistance. Ashidam ancestors, everybody, please, 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 no matter what your stripe is, I want everybody to be a champion of truth. Because no matter what your intellectual journey is, you need to be honest about the facts. You need to be honest about to the best of your ability, right? It needs to be focused on historic integrity at every juncture. Always need to be focused on historic integrity. Even if it's a person that you disagree with, the focus always needs to be on the actual historic evidence and what that looks like and dealing with it with the highest level of integrity. It's always about growth and it's always about learning. So I will be focusing more on Mafami Hattori Marifa. We're going to start covering those stories. I'm also going to start covering some of the children's bit that I had as well with Marifa Kids. I'm going to start covering those stories. I'm going to start doing more animations. We've been playing with that. We're playing with some characters. Just a little sneak preview. I will be introducing a character, a children's character on Marifa children. We'll be disclosing her and her beautiful story. And we're going to start really covering some of the history on that page as well, because there's a lot of things that I think we need to communicate to the youth. So, moving forward, we will have a beautiful discussion. It's going to be a healthy discussion. I do see things like the Chief Janice. I do feel like that is a distraction. I am not interested in engaging in it. A person who is not focused on the historic context and historic evidence, a person who's not focused on that is not a person I want to engage. So that's the only thing I'm really interested in, is really covering these stories. And we will cover these stories in Mafami Hattori Marifa. We're going to go full-fledged, as people know me historically for covering all of these beautiful stories, inventors, scientists. We need to convince these people. We need to convince our struggle. We need to convince our case for reparatory justice. And we will be focused on it. Everybody is welcome to participate. So Mafami Hattori Marifa will be back in full effect. I will also have a separate YouTube page for that, and I'll be covering that content. So on that note, everybody have a good night, and I wish everybody well on their intellectual journey. Let's be honest. Let's be champions of truth, and let's praise these ancestors.